Alright guys, so yeah, we're gonna showcase off the Char's Gelgoog over here on the JP version because yesterday I pulled my second copy of this unit, so I think it's actually a sign for me to showcase this unit. Originally I was not planning to because I didn't want to spend my Euro custom ticket for a unit that I'll probably not use, but I mean it's alright, we can always farm those up, but yeah, let's kinda see. So I do have this unit now at custom level 20. So the main gimmick on this unit is actually just PvE obviously, so you guys should have seen my review on it, but as far as seeing the showcase, it's probably going to be afterward. But in terms of this unit, this is going to be a PvE content specific unit, so there's just not a lot of like gimmicks where this unit would excel in arena. So if you are planning to pull this unit, or if you have pulled on this unit, well, simply it's going to be good for just general content. I don't know, I have a feeling that for the upcoming clan battle we might have to play as a melee centric, how they did for some of them. I don't know, I just have a hunch, just because they have already released the purpose of Sabi, and why not try to capitalize on that? Maybe, I don't know. So if that is the case, I think this unit may provide a fairly good utility for just a lot of the rate engineer, or sorry, rate and close combat because of the EXK buff. And that's actually pretty good, even on EXK level 1. Damage cap up to 120k for both the rate and close combat, while on the other hand also getting a 17% damage up to close combat, or just any proximity damage. So that's pretty good actually, right? EXQ gauge recovery up by 46%, so that should, I don't know how noticeable that would be, but we can definitely take a look at that. And then on dealing damage, you're also gaining EXQ gauge recovery, so that's good. Obviously the hit count on these, I wouldn't call them anywhere that's decent, but you know what, before we actually hop in, I am gonna hop into like a mock battle. I just want to see the I guess the weapon rotation. I just want to see how they are. Do they go to from 1 to 3 or what? So we can probably try that. As far as the palette, I don't actually have Char, so I'm using the closest possible SR status. Actually pretty decent. This one's pretty good for close combat. This one you're actually stacking 25% up to 4 times, and you're also gaining some additional one as well when you are Xeon affiliated. So we obviously do have that. So we are actually getting up to 200%, so that's good. 1 year war, and you are also getting the, what is it, the reaction up as well, so that's good. So I'm gonna hop into a mock battle first, just to kind of test out this unit a little bit more in depth, and then we will hop into a co-op to see how it works. I'm probably gonna be doing 2 co-op run. I'm gonna do this without any close combat or raid unit, just to see how this unit does on its own. And after that, I will join this unit with some other close combat and then some raid, just to kind of see what kind of damage will get boosted. Or I don't know. Maybe you know what? I'll probably do a run with close combat and a raid unit to see how they do without this unit support, and then I'll run it back again with this unit support, because generally speaking I feel like this is more of a buffer in disguise of a close combat. So I think I'll go with that route. I think that's probably going to be a little bit more interesting for you guys to see. Alright, so mock battle is not where I needed to go. I think I actually do need to hop into like an actual quest or co-op just to kind of test things out. So I'm just gonna do this. Hopefully Xeon does actually target 4 Armageddon Thunderbolt, so we can kind of have Gelgoog just kind of at range to do what it needs to do. So let's just kind of see. Alright, so let me see how this actually works. Alright, so I think it's just going to be 1, 2, yeah, okay. Alright, so you are immediately getting both of your melee slashes in. I mean both the main weapon and the additional one. And the EXQ gauge does charge pretty relatively fast, because right now I'm looking at it at 1 time speed and it charges like 2 hits. So both the main weapon and the additional weapon pretty much charge it at half already. So let's watch this again. Okay, I'm trying to take a look at it a little bit more carefully. Okay. Alright, so let's try this again. Okay. I think it probably needs 2 rotation in. So both the main and additional, then the beam rifle, and then going back in. Yeah. I mean, gosh, it discharged her pretty fast. So if you're talking about like close combat and rate unit, they are like they can take advantage of the buff quickly into the match. So that's good. But I don't know. The other problem I feel like I would say is, the more close combat and rate unit you have in the battlefield, I don't know how, like I feel like the overall damage mix, like the damage isn't going to be that great because you just have a lot of units in that same specific row or that column, yeah, that row. But I mean, that's definitely not something that's tested to be like, oh, if you have a lot of units in the same row, you don't perform as good. But I'll definitely say I run into a problem where when I'm running like a lot of these units that could disrupt the enemy, they tend to fluctuate damage like heavily, or not just that, like if you are replacing or if you have like few DPS on the same, like at the same time, they don't tend to be that good. So I know this unit specifically is a buffer at in its core, but the fact that this is more of like a raid, like a close combat unit, so you're technically still doing a lot of damage at it will. So yeah, I don't know, but I mean, at least the EX skill does charge pretty fast, so that's good. But I'm gonna hop out of here, and then I am just gonna form a whole close combat and raid unit team, and then we will see how they do without using this unit right here, and then we'll come back around to see if we will get any drastic improvement. Alright, so tier 3 quests, not quests, but the co-op. So facing up Penelope, I don't know if it's gonna be a little bit too much over the pay scale of a lot of these units here, except for probably Double Zeta. Double Zeta is simply acting as our tank, so we don't technically die right off the bat. So that's the only reason why I'm bringing this. So hopefully, in terms of Penelope, it's gonna center all the target onto the Zeta, and then we can make it out of here, I guess. So let's do that. As far as the over roster, we brought Banshee NTD, we have our Banshee Norn, we have the Purple Sasabi, we have I think it's the Rick the J low and co version, and then we have N3 Custom, just kind of rounding out that bench. So oh, wow. Yeah, don't be surprised that Double Zeta is actually doing too much because it does have the gear 2 skill, so we are just innately doing a lot more. So I don't really have the most confidence in terms of trying to take out this enemy, just because overall HP we are talking about 450 million, and the amount of damage that we are doing right now is not really sufficient enough, and I have 2 units that are actually type disadvantaged in terms of what they need to do. So yeah, definitely not looking the greatest, honestly. So Sasabi is actually doing pretty good out here. I take that. Okay, even the Rick the J low and co is doing pretty good. Okay, all right. N3 Custom, not a unit that we have on global yet, but it's doing pretty good as well. So okay, but I think what we can do, I think we can just probably skip towards like the very last portion if we don't die, and then to show you guys where we're actually at. Alright, so we are winding down to like the very last bit, and in terms of Sasabi, it did roughly about 142k damage per second, following by 121 by the Rector J, and then the other guys are just less than 100k damage or DPS per second. So if we are going to add in the Char's Gelgoog, I do expect their performance to have a considerable amount of damage increase for sure. And total damage wise, we have the following. So it took us 603 seconds to complete this. So 85 mil from Sasabi, 72 mil from the Rector J, 41 mil from Banshee Norn, and then 27 remaining to N3 Custom. So okay, so I am just gonna do the same quest again, or the same, yeah, co-op again. And then this time I think we'll definitely have a better number. But obviously damage wise, I think we will just be splitting evenly throughout each other. But I think namely, I just want to see in terms of the damage per second, are we gonna get a substantial increase or not? So we are in, and then we have Char's Gelgoog right in here. So let's actually get started, and then I guess we can kind of turn our attention into Char's Gelgoog real quick. So EX2 gauge, how fast are we actually charging? Yeah, it is actually charging up really quick. Okay. And how are the rest of the unit actually doing? I suppose they are at. Ooh, okay. So far, I think they are still trying to catch up in terms of damage wise now. So I think we are definitely gonna have to wait a little bit before we can see them damage racking up. But yeah, this is a problem that I fear the most, because now that we do have Char's Gelgoog up here, you guys can definitely see it actually does influence a lot of how the other units are doing now. So, or not really, or is it now? But yeah, there's still certainly a level of influence by this unit in the form of just being there. It fluctuates just the whole battle environment, where sometimes they would have naturally done more, but now they're not really. In this case, I think we are. I don't think we have hit the peak number yet, where I shouldn't really be too judgmental on it. But I think overall, as far as that unit itself for Char's Gelgoog, I think it's pretty much like alright. I wouldn't call this unit like one of the better standard unit out there, because there's still a lot of standard unit out there that actually does debuffing or buffing, and they are still able to carry itself quite well, like, you know, GPO4, etc. Still does phenomenal. Or even Alex, I think, just maybe like a step below GPO4, but we have already have unit that actually does some sort of buffing. But this one, I think to many people, it seems a little bit better, because not only are you buffing like good percentage, but you're also getting that damage can increase. So to many people, that may seems very incentivizing in a way. But I definitely wouldn't waste my time on not a specifically a support type unit, because the next support unit is either we are getting the gang. I think we should be getting it sometime, either like by the end of the year, or for sure earlier next year we should be getting that. And then after that, we are going to be getting the narrative B pack. So that one is also a very good one. And then the other one that right now a lot of people on JP are using is the Quibbly Mark II. So that one is the ultimate support type unit that we have in game right now for JP, and that one specifically does boost a lot of like critical rates and critical damage, just way better than what EZA can do. And that one is free for all as far as what the coverage goes. But otherwise, as far as the overall support from the Char's Gelgoog, I think it's alright. It's just where it should be. I'm not seeing like a substantial jump from a lot of these units. So I think even if you guys don't have this and you have some other support like Debuffer, like Phoenix, GPO4, or even Kasatri that's just doing your general buffing, I think those are just fine enough. I wouldn't really go out of my way to pull a unit like this. But if you're talking about the unit itself, can it hold on itself? I think for PvE content wise, we are definitely doing pretty solid right in between of the packs, so it's definitely not too shabby, I guess, in a way. But yeah, I don't think I'm gonna wait until this finish, because you guys do see the overall damage per second on a lot of these units already, and it's pretty much what I like to see in a way. We do see a slight improvement, so that's obviously pretty good. And we also do see that Char's Gelgoog does perform quite well in a PvE content base. So, but with that being said, that is going to be pretty much it for me, and I'll be catching you guys all on the next one.